araw po sa inyo lahat. Uh, Good afternoon everyone. So we're going to start this new webinar on SAEA, meaning to say Electrical Safety Enforcement and Awareness. So because the month of May is Electrical Safety Month, so we would like to take advantage of these remaining days of May so that we can also inform the public and safety in electrical system. So in the past there has been a lot of tragedies or incidents or accidents involving electricity. So we enjoin everyone to watch this video and also share it to your friends and relatives and your neighbors and to colleagues in the community. Okay, so we start with our prayers, our invocation. Amang banal, pinupuri ka namin at pinasalamatan sa mga biyaya at sa tuloy-tuloy mong paggabay sa amin. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na makapaglingkod sa aming mga kapatid at sa aming bayan. Sana po magawa nito bibigay ng dagdag na kalaman, kakayahan at kaunlaran ng bawat isa at para sa aming bayan. Lahat pong ito ay aming tinataas sa iyo, dakilang Ama, sa pangalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus. Amen. Okay, so this is my short resume, and I'd like you to just refer to it. I've been in electrical practice for over 45 years, and in other disciplines like mechanical and plumbing, I have shorter experience, but all of this experience has enriched my career and my of course my expertise being a professional engineer, and doing a combination of mechanical, electrical, plumbing and fire protection practice has made me more knowledgeable and very observing when it comes to safety in general. Okay, so I presently operate a small company, FEMP Safety Engineering and Construction. I used to be the chairman of the Electrical Safety Committee of the Institute of Integrated Electrical Engineers of the Philippines, and I became the national president of the Association of Master Plumbers or Plumbing Engineers, and I've also been into volunteerism. I've been a national president of Pugad Lawin, Philippines for 3 years from 2009, 2010, and 2011. And of course, I'm also a Rotarian, having been a president in 2005, 2006. So, let's proceed. What's the history of electrical safety? So, ever since the Americans have, I would say, invented electricity when Thomas Alva Edison, the great American inventor, started to, or she developed the incandescent bulb or invented the incandescent bulb. So at this point in time, since the light or the bulb is the simplest means that you could use electricity, because at night time you would be able already to illuminate your place, your home, the streets, and so on. So it has been a great breakthrough in our civilization. Of course, could imagine people before the advent of the incandescent bulb still use the lampara, still use the lamp with the kerosene, or maybe use the candles. But with the advent of electricity, they started to provide light. So of the first electric companies in the world, like say in Manila, the Meralco, Manila Electric and Railroad Company, it means Manila Electric Railroad and Light Company. So even in Davao, there's the Davao Light and Power. So it was initially the provision of lights as the best or the easiest to provide service from electricity. Of course, there were already some small motors maybe that has been handled, like motion picture like the phonograph and some other applications. But in those times, in the um, late 1900, no, the most of the prime movers used um, mechanical engines here, no, not yet the electric motor. Okay, so here we would like to refer you to this slide. It's not might not be very clear, but as you would see, it was in 1860 when the first fuses were developed. So if you remember, in the Philippine history, um, Dr. Jose Rizal was born sometime in this period, no? If I'm not mistaken, he was born in 1863 or 1861. So it was this time of history of the world was really very important, no? Then in 1880s, AC DC electrical systems were expanded. Okay, and in 1889, electric chair was developed. Okay, so even at that point in time, maybe there were already many criminals, and they had to met out a punishment to these criminals. No, instead of hanging them, so they invented the electric chair, and that was 1889. So 1890, the circuit breakers were developed. Okay, and in 1897, that was just a year after the Katipunan was exposed in August 23, 1896. No, the first NEC, what is NEC? National Electrical Code was released. So you see, in America, they already have an electrical code as early as 1897. That was the time when the Philippines was fighting for independence. See, we only got our independence declared by Aguinaldo, President Aguinaldo, in 1898. See, so let's see. Then UL, 1897, UL is formed. What is UL? Underwriters Laboratory. So this is a testing laboratory in charge of subjecting materials to testing to ensure higher standards. Okay, and in 1913, a little jump in the time, no, the first edition of the Electrician's Handbook was made. See, and in the 1940s, that was before during the time of World War II. Okay, 1940s, the current limiting fuses were developed, and in 1970, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration of America was formed. So it was only some 50 years ago when this was formed. Okay, in 1979, the NFPA 70E was released. So what is NFPA? National Fire Protection Association of America. So see, that was the progress of technology when it comes to electricity. Okay, let's see the next slide. And here's the next slide. 1980, first burn centers open. So because there were already problems with the improper use of electricity, there were already short circuits, maybe electrocution, and so on and so forth. So there were already the accidents. So they put up the first burn centers. It's not yet really, let's say, a hospital or what, no, but burn centers to treat those who might have met accidents in electricity. No? So in 1982, Ralph Lee's Arc Flash paper came out. What is this Arc Flash? Arc Flash is an explosion caused by electricity when you have two lines. The power from one line to the other would jump to the other line, and it might cause burning or explosion, or so a fire could happen also. Okay, so in 1990, the OSHA, Occupational Self-Healthy and Health and Administration, so Part S was updated. No, so there's that portion is there. No, so safety, S is safety, H is health. Okay. In 1995, NFPA 70 recognized arc flash. Again, arc flash is this dangerous thing that caused by electric short circuit. In 1995, arc resistant switchgear were introduced. So that means that because of this arc flash, many manufacturers and even American standards provide for this arc resistant switchgear. What has been causing this arc flash or this short circuit, this jump of electricity from one line to the other. And in year 2000, NFPA 70 expands the arc flash. Okay, and in 2002, National Electrical Code of America requires the warning labels to be marked. And in 2004, the NFPA 70 is expanded and revised. And in 2005, the NEC is updated further. So there's a continuing upgrading, and you might know very well that Americans in America, they continue to upgrade their national electrical code. And so with here in the Philippines, our electrical practitioners also continue to upgrade the Philippine electrical code, which is of course generally based to or with the American National Electrical Code. You know, we being a colony before of America, so in the early half of the 20th century, we just merely use the National Electrical Code of America. Okay? So here, a history of electrical safety. In 1911, the NFPA was asked to take over administration of the National Electrical Code of America, which had been started by the Underwriters National Electrical Association in 1982. Certainly, the NEC is an important publication of our association, and its publication year is yet more evidence than the system of consensus-based standards writing not only works but is at the same time the most democratic form of self-regulation in the United States. Okay, so and so on and so forth. So okay, and now we proceed with this slide, which shows us that tatlong kalalakihan patay matapos na makuryente sa kinukumpuning water pump. So this happened in Zamboanga del Sur last year, July 30, 2019, last year. And 3 men were supposed to do some servicing for a deep well. No? So this is the deep well casing. And suddenly they collapsed. So it is possible that these men were electrocuted. Why? Because maybe they were not conscious, knowledgeable, or with regard to electrical safety, like isolating power, which might have probably grounded the pipe or the motor or whatever. No, so 3 people died. See, so every now and then these electrical accidents do happen, and lives are lost. So that's the reason why we would like to conduct this webinar, so that most people would be aware of it. Okay, so here is a slide that shows us when your hand touches an live electrical conductor, the electricity would pass through the body, through the hands, of course, and it will exit through the foot to the ground. It will pass through the body into the ground, and it might pass through partly the heart, or as indicated in the schematic. And the moment it passes through the heart, then there is a possibility that the heart might stop beating and therefore might kill a person. Okay, so again, let's see. This is a 2014 accident. This is a graph from Facebook. September 19, 2014. 3 tao sa Maynila na kuryente sa gitna ng masamang panahon. So, what happened here is that 3 young men were cruising the España Street in Sampaloc, Manila. And the España Street was flooded. It's flooded as usual, and they were waving through the flood. And upon touching the metal railings of the islands, suddenly they got electrocuted, and they died instantly because of the electricity is too much for their body to be able to. So there's something lacking in here. I believe there's been this lacking ground fault circuit interrupter, because the moment you have a ground fault, it should be this GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter, or an earth leakage breaker that should isolate electricity from the non-current carrying parts, like for example the metal railings, okay, or the posts, the lighting post, the metal of the lighting post. Any metal which is a conductor of electricity will become a possible path of electrocution of the electricity, which, like we mentioned earlier in this sketch, no, that the current would pass through our body. So, in other words, there was something lacking in here, in that installation there in Manila. No, how come? So that means that in our present practice as electrical practitioners in the Philippines, um, there are three possible people that could have made a mistake. Number one, it could be the engineer who prepared the electrical design. He might have missed specifying, including in his design, the GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupt. Secondly, the engineer who is supposed to supervise the project also missed to provide this. Even if the designer did not provide it, if the inspector or supervisor, electrical supervisor, is knowledgeable, he knows his code, the electrical code, his safety, he would have uh, coordinated with the designer to include this provision, safety provision. Okay, supposing both the designer and the supervisor uh, missed it, then there's the third person supposedly that should be able to check this, and this is the electrical inspector from the city hall. So again, all the three gentlemen, three people, did not have the uh, you know the knowledge or skill, or to provide this electrical safety device, the ground fault circuit interrupter. So up to now, there is big problem with the electrical practitioners in the country. Many are still lacking in the real expertise when it comes to electrical safety. See, this is another picture. We took it from the internet, showing that this guy would be digging, struck a cable which might have damaged the insulation of the cable and got him electrocuted. Okay, so we must be careful when we are digging uh, um, outside. No, we should be very careful. We should get the plans, refer to the old plans, as-built plans, so that we would know if there are lines, or if not, we should use detectors to find out if there are lines traveling underneath the location of your excavation. Okay, and here another picture shows us that the lineman also suffered electrocution. Linemen are those people working on the overhead power lines, just like the Meralco lineman, the Veco lineman, the double light and power lineman, and so on and so forth. So they must be very careful also. It's possible that these linemen missed de-energizing a power line, or it's also possible that a person in the company inadvertently switched on the line, which might have electrocuted this person. So again, we must be very careful with this. Okay, so here is another cartoon comics drawing. Shows that this guy doing the jackhammering might have struck an underground line, which shut off the power of this lady here. Where's my electric? Where's my plan? So again, he doesn't know where that there are lines passing through it, and this work journeyman struck it, no? And possible also that he could get electrocuted. So we must be very careful. Okay, in 2010, there was this Tuguegarao bed and breakfast fire happened in Tuguegarao, December 19, 2010, which killed 16 people. So the owner of this building is the same as the owner of this. This on the right side is the hotel building, bed and breakfast pension house, and this one is their hardware building. So the fire started here in this left building, and then the smoke went even to the hotel building, and that suffocated many of the occupants here, and many died, including several nurses who were supposed to take the board exams in Tuguegarao city at that time. Okay, and here is a picture of that. You would see that in that Tuguegarao bed and breakfast hotel fire, in the hardware, that's the left building, there were so many canisters, no? Here you would see them here. This one, so many of them scattered in the debris of the fire. So that means that this aerosol paints canisters contain flammable materials. No, it could be paint thinner, it could be lacquer thinner. So the moment you remove the cover, there's possibility that the compound inside the paint could burst or could go out and start a big fire. So we believe that that was the big reason why it happened, and I just don't understand why the owner would stock so many of these aerosol cans, no, aerosol paints in her room where the cash register was located. So this room was in her cash register room. So any flammable substance, like for example alcohol, kerosene, gasoline, LPG, anything that are flammable, should not be stored inside our rooms. No, they should be just stored outside where there is plenty of ventilation, so that the possibility of explosion inside the where we are living should be very far. No, so even your kitchen should be with adequate ventilation. If you have LPG fuel, like PG tanks being used for cooking purposes, the LPG leak will just be scattered there. No, okay. Here's a picture of the Cantex fire, the entrance of the factory, and here was a scene of the picture of the scene of the fire. At this portion where sacks of raw materials which were flammable were stored, and somebody was doing welding on the main gate, and the sparks from the welding would go to the flammable materials, okay, that were stored here, and then they were ignited, and the people there were not ready to put off the fire, and the fire was so big that it trapped the workers of Cantex here. Could not just go out, could not escape it, because there are no fire escape in there. So again, there was a lapse in that welding, not getting the right permit, and then there was no fire escapes in the buildings, totally enclosed. No? So that killed a lot of people, something like over 70 people. Okay, and here's a picture of that building in Serendra in Bonifacio Global City, where a big LPG explosion happened. So you would see the walls of this 6th-floor condominium unit, which was shattered after this very strong explosion. So see, it is very dangerous to have gas leak inside. No? What happened here is that these people in uh, what you call this the developers of these um, um, condominium units in Serendra made or included LPG as the fuel for cooking. So instead of putting their LPG tanks on using LPG tanks, they used pipe gas, and the problem was there was this leak, and the detector wasn't working all right. So the detector and also the automatic shut-off device wasn't working all right, which caused this big explosion. This is on the 6th floor, so very dangerous. We must be very careful when it comes to handling liquefied petroleum gas. And this is another one. In 2007, this happened at the Glorieta 2 explosion. No? Glorieta 2 in Makati. 11 people died, and what happened is that there was this leak gas, not LPG this time, but methane and hydrogen sulfide that were accumulated because of in the sump, in the basement, because the what you call this, the sump motors, the transfer pumps, the sump motors, at a time were damaged. It was believed that the running pump was damaged. It wasn't, and then of course they used the standby. For a while they were not, the maintenance people were not able to replace the first one until the second one, the standby sump pump, was also damaged. So again, it was still not properly replaced or maintained until it accumulated. The methane gas and the hydrogen sulfide, which just waiting for ignition or an arc, or a spark. And when this happened, you would see the very big devastation or damage that happened in the building where 11 people died. So again, must be very careful also. And this is a picture of the Resorts World in 2017. A gunman went inside and started shooting. So the playing patrons were afraid to come out, so they had to seek shelter in rooms inside, even kitchen rooms, etc. And as the guards and the police were trying to control the gunman overnight, the gunman also poured gasoline in the playing tables, like here. You see here in this picture, you see these are the playing tables. He would pour gasoline or kerosene and ignite them. He would also do this in the slot machine area, thereby producing carbon monoxide, or because the fire is not complete. Carbon monoxide is produced when the fire is not completed. If a fire happens outside of a building, chances are the product of the fire is carbon dioxide and a little of those toxic gases. But in the case of a fire inside a room, a building that is enclosed, so not openly ventilated, so when the fire happens, and especially when there is no complete combustion that happens, like in this, it just starts the fire and then would stop. It won't continuously burn, thereby producing carbon monoxide. So later on, in the next morning, the people there, the guard, the security people, would locate the people, about 37 of them already called dead, and And there's only one reason, and that is the carbon monoxide which was produced and it was scattered in those rooms where these people stayed by the air conditioning system. So, so many of these accidents, those still do happen, and we need to be very careful. We need to be to increase awareness when it comes to this system, this electrical safety, so that we should be able to lessen these accidents. Okay, here in the Philippines in 2011, in January 12, 2011, the IIE team of electrical engineers was requested by the city prosecutor of Tuguegarao City to submit an independent technical investigation evaluation of the cause of the bed and breakfast hotel fire that killed 16 people. So at this point in time, I was yours truly was the chairman of the electrical safety committee of the IIE, and then the national president at that time of the IIEE was Engineer Armando Diaz. So he formed a team, Engineer Diaz formed a team of investigators, technical investigators, to go to Tuguegarao to conduct it. And after that, after the investigation, we submitted to the city prosecutor's office our findings, which eventually pinned down those who made mistakes in the inspection, in the installation, and so on and so forth of these two buildings, that bed and breakfast and the hardware buildings owned by the owners. So there were a lot of violations of the code there. No? So in May 21, 2011, the IIE launched the Electrical Safety Enforcement and Awareness Campaign. Okay, so we were able to get an approval from the President of the Philippines at the time, and that is President Benigno Simeon Coangco Aquino, issuing the proclamation number 193, declaring the month of May as, and every year after, as the Electrical Safety Month. Okay, so next, and here is just a portion of the proclamation, the proclamation order by President Noytoy. Here's his signature, and also the signature of the executive secretary at that time. Okay, and it included this, no, Presidential Proclamation number 193, declaring the month of May as, and every year as, the Electrical Safety Month. Whereas many lives and properties are lost due to fires and electrocution. Okay. Whereas most of these fires and incidents of electrocution are attributed to faulty electrical wiring. Okay, and let's continue. Whereas the main reason for the occurrence of fires and electrocution from electrical causes is not faulty wiring but ignorance in the use of electrical appliances and gadgets, such as overloading of electrical outlets and the use of counterfeit electrical products such as circuit breakers, power strips, extension cords, batteries, holiday lights that can cause fires, can overload, explosions, shocks, and electrocution. Whereas there is a real need to increase public awareness in electrical safety, and holiday lights that can cause fires, overload, explosions, shocks, and electrocution. Whereas there is a real need to increase public awareness, whereas the Bureau of Product Standards, okay, okay, the Bureau of Product Standards under the Department of Trade and Industry is the national standards body of the Philippines, mandated to develop, promulgate, implement, and coordinate standardization activities with electrical products. Whereas the Institute of Integrated Electrical Engineers of the Philippines has entered into an agreement with Singapore-based International Copper Association, Southeast Asia, that is the ICASEA, a non-profit organization, to conduct electrical safety awareness campaign in the country and to provide the opportunity to share the best practices and help establish good standards in electrical system in the Philippines. Whereas an electrical safety month in May would amplify and reinforce consciousness on electrical safety. Okay, so therefore, the ESEA mission is to ensure that this ESEA would be properly enforced through improving local inspectors' capacity and to increase the public's awareness on electrical safety. To be a major campaigner that leads the public towards an electrically safe environment. That's the mission, the vision of the ESEA. And the objectives are designed to enhance the enforcement of Philippine Electrical Code, provide capacity building to improve the skills of local inspectors, increase the awareness and educate the public on the importance of electrical safety, and strengthen the institutional cooperation between government and industry such as the local government units, developers, and contractors association, among others.